You also worked with a young Rick Rood in Charlotte.
Oh, my God.
Back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Does anything stick out to you about this? He was really, I guess, really green at the time before the whole Ravishing.
Yeah, one thing that really sticks out, and it's kind of X-rated a little bit, but I used to do that backwards suplex. This is before I started using the figure four, so that was my finish. Backwards suplex and then drop the elbow. So I guess according to Rick, and he told me this 4 or 5 years later when I saw him in New York, and he was green back then, and I suplexed him backwards, and I almost lost him, because that's kind of a dangerous suplex, but he had his head tucked in, thank God, but I busted his nut. Now X-rated because I ruptured his left nut.
With the suplex?
Yeah, I don't know how I did it. He had to go home and get it fixed. And he told me about it years later. And I did the same thing to Owen Hart, but it wasn't suplex. It was like I hated doing those running back and forth, and they were doing the leapfrogs. And I was trying not to make it look too obvious that I was ducking under it. And one time, I don't know, Stu Hart said I didn't go down deep enough, so I clipped his left nut too. But what was really unfortunate for him, he lost his left nut because of that.
Wow, really?
And then I remember seeing Stu Hart at the Cauliflower Alley out here, and he was in bad shape, and he was in a wheelchair and everything, and he'd go, you busted Owen's nut, and like, I go, and I never heard about it. I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And, Owen's passed away now, and it's really sad. And, but yeah, so I guess I was a nut buster for, I had to share that with you.
It could have been a good gimmick if the hammer thing.
Yeah, the nut buster.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, both of those are accidents. And Rick Rood, he's no longer with us either, but he was okay after it. And he's the one who told me the story about it. And then Owen, of course, told me about it. But his was more severe, so I'm sorry.
And then, you later worked with both of them in WWF.
Yeah. We did a lot of, I don't think I worked with Owen in any single matches, but tag matches, yeah.
I know you have a lot of respect and go way back with the Hart family, for years.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Brett's a good friend of mine, and I'll never forget those years of training in the dungeon in the early 70s with Stu Hart, classic stuff. And a lot of people say, well, what did Stu show you? And I go, he really didn't show me anything. He showed me how to relax. And I kept hooking up, and he'd show me how to fall. But he didn't show me the high spot things, and I didn't want to learn that stuff anyway. But I learned how to fall backwards and the basic stuff, which is really, really good stuff to learn.
Yeah.
And the hip tosses and the slams, that all came later, and I worked out with a few guys in a gym there in Calgary, away from Stu's dungeon. But I got a real bad, I don't know if I told you this story, but I got a real bad case of some kind of fungus on my feet because I had no wrestling boots when I got there. And they finally found me some and brought, my dad sent me up there with no wrestling boots. And they said, you can get them when you get there. And so I got some kind of infantile, that's it. I got infantile on my feet, and I couldn't even walk. And I had to go to an emergency room, and they scraped my feet. And then they bandaged my feet all up. And then Stu always said that the kid had rotten feet. Well, it was from that rotten mat he had down there, and he never cleaned it off. And I got infantile, I think I couldn't even walk for almost 2 weeks. It was bad.
Oh God.
Yeah.
All the sweat and the
I had
shit
to
on the mat.
lay there in that Calgarian hotel there. It wasn't that bad of a hotel, but, it was boring. Yeah. Back then, you only had 3 channels on TV, especially in Calgary. And then you had a couple French ones.